right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to my Witch Hunter overview for the build. Not a full build guide quite yet. I am currently level 87. We have about 3.6k HP combining life and ES, 71% evasion, and that is with the sorcery ward skill, which this grants us 50% less armor and evasion rating, and we are sitting at 71%, pretty good. Sorcery ward is a skill that simply grants you elemental shield, essentially. So this number right here, I essentially have 3,400 extra health versus all elemental damage. So that is quite nice defensively. That's basically how our defensive layers work. We're just stacking ES, evasion, and the sorcery ward. And then in terms of offense, as you saw, we are clearing things with our galvanic shot. And then once we shock something that needs to be killed that is tanky, we then switch on over to a shock burst rounds for the single target. Now, yes, of course, I could get more single target damage by abusing some mechanic like the lightning rod weapon swap to a bow and arrow, shoot the lightning rods in the air, they come down on the ground, and then you just shotgun them like crazy. But guess what? That's cringe. I'm not doing that. I could also do something like use an offhand crossbow with a grenade skill for probably much more single target damage as well. But guess what? That's also cringe. I'm just here to shoot my gun. All right, all things considered, given the footage you just watched, I probably shouldn't have used a crowbell as a showcase for a boss. That was a T20 boss, technically, by the way, because we have our Atlas tree filled out. So +1 boss difficulty, +1, +1, +1, and then the zone itself was also +1. So it was a T15, +5. So essentially, that was a very tanky boss, and crowbell has like all the mechanics he has to walk through. I probably should have chosen a different boss, but yeah, the single target damage is absolutely what I'm trying to work out the most on this build right now. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comments below. Here's what our passive skill tree looks like right now. We basically come through the ranger area, get a little bit of movement speed here. Movement speed is king in my opinion. And then we go up here to the monk area. The monk area is like super overloaded for the starting nodes. You get movement speed, you get attack speed, you get evasion and %ES, you get skill speed, and you get extra damage as lightning, plus the shock chance. This area is like super busted. But you know what's even more busted? This passive node right here, lightning rod. So this node, making your lightning damage lucky. If you don't know what lucky does, essentially just re-rolls an odd in your favor. So for example, with my single target damage skill shock burst rounds, my lightning damage range is 2350 to 8200, quite the large range. So it being lucky means that, for example, if the first roll is like 3000 damage, but the second roll is 6500 damage, it's going to choose the 6500 damage. And this happens for every single instance of lightning damage that you deal. Of course, if it's a non-critical, which if it's a crit, it's going to double the damage anyway, right? Every character I think by default has a 5% crit chance with a 100% critical bonus, which is essentially just doubling your damage whenever you crit. So that's already, pretty decent. If you land a crit, you're doubling the damage. It can't be that bad, right? And then all other hits, you get lucky. It's so absolutely disgusting. If you're playing a lightning damage build, you should probably just take this, period. Like, it's a very expensive anoint. Double isolation. I think these things are sitting at, 600 exalts each right now? Let's say 400. Hey, they went down a little bit. They were 600 on stream yesterday. Anyway, we're basically just focusing on a bunch of like LE damage, elemental penetration, shock chance, shock build up, that kind of stuff. These crossbow nodes aren't the best in my opinion. Like the 15% chance to not consume a bolt is fine. I suppose it saves your mana a little bit, but this node is pretty bad. And the rest of them, the reload speed is pretty much irrelevant. I'm pretty sure crossbow reload speed scales with your attack speed and your skill speed. So the 15% here is like not that impactful. And then you have like 12% damage coming in. I might drop these nodes at some point. And for my gear right now, I think I've spent about 8 divines total on everything. The crossbow is a very large portion of that. It's about a 5 or 6 divine crossbow. And then the rest of the gear is just, evasion, energy shield, and resistances, and then some rarity wherever I could fit it in. Some amulet has rarity, ES, resistances, rarity, ES, resistances, rarity, ES, resistances. Well, in this case of the rings, it's actually evasion rating only, not energy shield, unfortunately. And look at that. Even more evasion, ES, and resistances. Evasion, ES, resistances, evasion, ES, resistances. And then the belt is just, a belt. There actually aren't any evasion or ES modifiers that can roll on belts, unfortunately, in the given moment, which is kind of weird. But yeah, other than that, I just wanted to make a character that runs and guns. You just hold down, the crossbow button, you just start shooting, pew, 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 pew. And then when you see a tanky guy, you place down your mark like that. Well, pretend something's there and they got marked. And then you just shoot until they get shocked, swap your shock burst rounds, and then they blow up. That's pretty much the idea. I have begun the build guide write-up on Mobalytics, link in the description below if you want to check that out. It's not the full build guide just yet. I'm still learning this character and breaking things down. So I will be updating the guide as I experience things. Anyway, if you'd like to follow the progress live, you can check out my stream at twitch.tv/Woolie Gaming. Come say hi and give me some pointers on increasing my single target damage with the Witch Hunter. Other than that, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.